Paula, welcome to our kitchen. I am so glad to meet you, or for you to meet me. I am Kelly Freihofer, and I live in the North Country, up in upstate New York, Mexico, New York, right near Lake Ontario. Today we are making a dessert with Philadelphia cream cheese. Kraft. The dessert recipe that we're making today is caramel cream cheese bread pudding. And we will start, of course, with butter. I enjoy butter and applaud you for your use of butter. I much prefer to use real butter versus margarine, only because I think it's healthier. It's more natural. While the butter is melting, I will cut the bread for the bread pudding. This bread was baked at the local bakery in town. I like to use local ingredients as much as possible. I've set the bread aside, the butter is melting, and now we will go to our farm fresh eggs. Here on the farm we have 9 hens that are laying. Some days we actually get 9 eggs, and 1 rooster. We also have 8 little hens that are on the way to becoming grown laying hens to add to our production. These eggs that I am breaking are ones that were laid yesterday and today. Oh, and we have had chickens for 20 years or more, and I can't tell you how much we still enjoy the farm fresh egg. If you'll take a look at it, you'll see that the yolks are bright, bright orange. A farm fresh egg has so much nutrition. Not that a regular egg doesn't, but this just has so much more just because they're fresh and the chickens are free range. We'll mix these eggs up. I want to encourage, if anybody ever has the opportunity, when you see that farm fresh egg sign alongside the road, to take the opportunity to go in and buy those eggs, because they add so much to your diet. We'll mix that right up. And then we will add 2 cups of milk. I'd like to say that this is farm fresh, but it is not. We did have a cow on the farm until recently, but it was a beef cow. We're going to add that in, blend it in. Then we'll check on the butter. We are in good shape with the butter. Set aside our eggs. To the butter, we will add a ½ cup of caramel syrup. This is where we'll get our caramel flavor. Stir that in. This will make it blend better with the eggs and the milk. And we have a ½ cup of pure maple syrup that is also local. This syrup was made on a farm, or most of the maple syrup that we use here is made on a farm right here at the edge of our village, just outside the village. It is made on a farm where they have made syrup for over 100 years. 3 generations have made it for over 100 years. Alrighty, so we have that mixed together, the butter, the maple syrup, and the caramel. We will pour that into our egg and milk mixture and blend that all together. We have our sweetener here, and we'll add a little bit of spice. 2 teaspoons of, we will add 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then we're all set with our flavoring. Now this is all added to our bread pudding, our bread. And you want to stir while you add, because you want to make sure all the bread is coated well with the eggs and the milk. Beautiful mixture. Alrighty. Now, take a greased 9 by 13 pan. We're going to spray that ahead of time. Make sure your oven is preheating to 375 degrees. You might want to turn that on when you start melting the butter. And put about half of your bread pudding mixture in the dish. Cover the bottom nicely. And then we will add the cream cheese, our Kraft Philadelphia Cream Cheese. I remember this morning when I was thinking about cream cheese, my years of growing up over in eastern New York State. We grew up in the country and my mother almost always had cream cheese in the house. We had cream cheese and jelly sandwiches on white bread all through the 1960s and most of the 70s. That was a favorite of mine. Okay, we will use 2 boxes of the cream cheese and lay the chunked cream cheese on the bread pudding in the 9 by 13 baking dish. As I said, this adds the flavor to make it thick, a thick and creamy bread pudding. And we need one more. And never be afraid. I'm like you, Paula. Never be afraid to use your hands when cooking. That is one of your greatest tools, and always handy. And hands are always washable. I grew up with 5 sisters, and thankfully my mother always allowed us in the kitchen, welcomed us in the kitchen. And as we grew, we learned to cook. And all of us, except one, all of us cook. One of us doesn't enjoy it as much as the other, but boy, she has the same appreciation for food. And my daughters grew up in the kitchen right next to me from early on. My daughter, who's doing the videoing today, was standing at the counter on a stool as soon as possible, as soon as she was old enough. And she has grown in her love of cooking and can cook as well as I can. She can put a multi-course meal on and know the timing, which is fascinating. Okay, so we have our cream cheese spread evenly, fairly evenly, over our bread pudding mixture. And I will set that aside. We're enjoying a beautiful spring day here in central New York. Now, we'll spread the remainder. There goes our little Mia, letting us know that. We'll cover the bread pudding, pop it in the oven for 40 minutes, and remove the cover and bake for another 10 minutes before it's done. So I am digging right into this beautiful dessert. You can see the cream cheese beautifully. Do 2. And I made homemade whipped cream using local honey and whipping cream. Top that right off, and we are ready to enjoy. Thank you, Paula, for coming into our kitchen today, for visiting us on the farm, and for giving us this opportunity to bake for you.